Israeli sources, as well as a representative of a Kurdish tribe. The idea to enlist the Kurds in the fight against Tehran originated with Israel. The country promised the tribes political support after the possible fall of the regime. The CIA, the American intelligence agency, later joined the operation. Kurdish groups have thousands of fighters along the Iran-Iraq border. They control strategic areas and, in recent weeks, have been deploying hundreds of fighters to the front lines in Iran. The goal is to be ready for an offensive in support of the U.S. and Israeli air campaign. American sources note that Kurdish forces could occupy certain territories in Iran and spur an internal uprising. At the same time, experts warn that the Kurds lack sufficient forces and risk becoming cannon fodder. The Secretary General of the League of Kurdish Opposition Forces confirmed that the offensive has not yet formally begun. A decision on action is awaiting the green light from the United States. Iranian authorities are taking stock of the situation. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi discussed the threat of invasion with the Iraqi Prime Minister. The Iraqi government stated that it will not allow a threat from its territory. Since the beginning of the war, the Israeli Air Force has struck military positions in Kurdish territory and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps bases. Iranian media reports that the city of Bukhan is under heavy artillery fire. The situation remains tense. Kurdish forces are preparing for possible coordination with U.S. and Israeli operations. A real offensive has been postponed for now, but the region is being closely monitored. U.S. President Donald Trump said he would approve of an offensive by Iranian Kurdish fighters into Iran in support of the U.S. and Israeli war against the Islamic Republic. "I think it's wonderful that they want to do that. I'd be all for it," Trump said in an interview with news agency Reuters. Trump declined to say if the United States would provide air cover to Kurdish forces. Since the United States and Israel launched the war on Saturday, Iran has been striking Iranian Kurdish groups based in autonomous Iraqi Kurdistan, whom Tehran accuses of serving Western and Israeli interests. Several Iranian Kurdish groups back fighting for greater autonomy within Iran, angering the Islamic Republic, but also many opponents, including monarchists, who insist on territorial integrity. While Kurds have historically had less friction with the Iranian state than their brethren in Iraq, Turkey, and Syria, Iranian Kurds form some of Iran's rare armed and organized opposition groups. Experts say they could potentially help special forces infiltrate and destabilize Iran.
Speaking at U.S. Central Command, which oversees the Middle East, Hegseth said the U.S. is solely controlling the timeline of activities in Iran and will do so, as long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves its objectives. "We set the tempo," he said. "We set the timeline led by the commander on the ground." According to Associated Press talking about U.S. weapons stockpiles, Hegseth said, "Our munitions are full up and our will is ironclad. We have only just begun to fight and fight decisively," he said. On Wednesday, Hegseth said the war could go as long as 8 weeks, the longest timeline given by the Trump administration thus far. Admiral Brad Cooper, head of U.S. Central Command, said Thursday that U.S. forces had to date sunk more than 30 of Iran's ships, including an Iranian drone carrier ship roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. "And as we speak, it's on fire," Cooper said. In February, Cooper for the first time joined indirect U.S.-Iran talks in Oman, appearing in his dress uniform as a reminder of the American buildup of military might in the region. Hegseth also added that firepower over Tehran was about to surge dramatically. Neither Hegseth nor Cooper provided any details as to what precisely that meant. "When we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities," he said. "And it's more bomber pulses more frequently." Also Thursday, Israel's top military general said that country had additional surprises ahead, also without elaborating.
The Admiral knows we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the president and myself are maxed out. Our capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still, as are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is ours and ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives, and as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground.
Ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier, and as we speak, it's on fire. The president gave us another task: to raise or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress.
Well, there's no expansion. Ultimately, I think the president's having a heck of a say in who runs Iran, given the ongoing operation we have. So there's no expansion in our objectives. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve.
I'd also just double down on the president's comments that he previously made to the people: stay in your homes, keep things calm, stay out of the way. There's a lot of U.S. and Israeli capacity coming over. We're hitting a lot of targets. The best thing for them to do for right now is just to lay low.
Well, as the president stated, it was unfortunate that that the Brits didn't, from day one, say, "Hey, go ahead and have access." But we got there. We got there, and that's now part of the way that we're operationalizing bomber runs. And as part of when we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities, and it's more bomber pulses more frequently. The amount of firepower over Iran and over Tehran is about to surge dramatically. And part of it is that we're going to have even more basing. And it's not just the UK. We've had other friends step up, and we're grateful for that. I think Kristi Noem did an excellent job over there securing our border and keeping us focused on threats, and the president making a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the president. I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullen will do a fantastic job. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. But